And open inside the 35. Metcalf. All the way inside the 20.
If there's one name that's taken the NFL world by storm over the last year, it has to be that of DK Metcalf. The Seahawks rookie went viral with a picture of his unbelievable muscular physique, and he's only grown in celebrity since then. With that in mind, allow us to show you 10 things you didn't know about DK Metcalf. But before we begin, here's a fun fact about DK. He loves strawberry milk. Yes, the hottest rookie in the NFL is a self-proclaimed connoisseur of strawberry milk. He's also partnered with Nesquik in a campaign to encourage people in chasing their dreams. That aside, here are the other things you didn't know about DK Metcalf with Number 10. His dad was in the NFL. Metcalf says that the most important person in his life is his dad, and that his dad is the person who knows him the best. Growing me up, he was always there for me and knew exactly what to do and how to help me, is how Metcalf describes it.
Dad went through it all, made it to the top level, so he knows what it takes to get there, and all of the tips and everything that he's taught me is really, it's really a blessing that.
While that is incredibly sweet, you would be surprised to learn that Daddy Metcalf was in the NFL as well. Yes, Terrence Metcalf had a 7-season career in the NFL, playing as a guard for the Chicago Bears. Both father and child played their college football at the University of Mississippi, which makes it obvious that the talent runs deep in the family. While Metcalf does have family roots in the NFL, it's safe to say that he is going to surpass his father. He already has done so in popularity and even made some great records in his first season. His dad is sure to be very proud. Number 9. He set a record in his very first match. While the muscles are a big reason behind why DK Metcalf is so popular, there's a lot more to the man. You won't believe what happened in his very first game. The rookie for the Seahawks made the most of his opportunity and ended up setting a record for receiving the most yards for a debutant. And that's not the only amazing thing he did in his very first season. You wouldn't want to miss this. While his debut was amazing to say the least, Metcalf also set a record for the most yards by a rookie player in a playoff game. With the first season with all this and multiple touchdowns, DK Metcalf made himself the player to watch for the future. Number 8. He's been lifting from a very early age. If you're a big fan of DK Metcalf's insane body, you wouldn't want to miss this. The story behind his amazing muscles actually begins from a very early age. Metcalf's father bought his very first weight training set when he was just 5 years old. We can't say whether that was good parenting or not, but the results are there for all to see. In fact, there's something even more special about toddler Metcalf lifting from such a young age. The boy was strong from the very start. According to Metcalf's father, the Seahawks receiver could lift up to 50 pounds and squat 100 pounds when he was 5. Thankfully, Terrence didn't let his son continue lifting, but got him resistance bands instead. It's no wonder that DK's body is this shredded. Number 7. He wants to be a chef after his football career. This might be surprising to a lot of people. After all, it's not something you expect from a football player. But DK Metcalf seems to do things differently with everything that he does. He claims to have a lot of love for cooking, having more than just eaten the food that was cooked in his household. According to DK, cooking became something that he started to enjoy, to the point that he would have gone to culinary school if his football aspirations hadn't worked out. While everyone's happy that they did, Metcalf's dreams of cooking haven't ended. He plans to open a restaurant once he's done with football, and he is fully prepared to take on that role later in life.
Back home in Mississippi,
Number
with
6.
a family,
He is
owning my own
superstitious.
restaurant.
You might have heard this about a lot of athletes and celebrities, but they do tend to be superstitious. It makes sense since they are put under a lot of stress and have to do so much to perform and meet expectations. DK Metcalf is the same, and it makes even more sense for him as a young man making strides in the NFL. Thankfully, Metcalf's ritual isn't anything crazy. In fact, it's actually quite simple. The man just listens to the PlayaFly song, Nobody Needs Nobody. He hasn't really mentioned why he listens to this particular song, but it does seem to be helping. If we're sure about anything, it is the fact that the song is going to increase in popularity in the coming years. Number 5. He had a tough time at college. For a player that took the NFL by storm so quickly, you would expect Metcalf to have a fiery time at college too. That wasn't the case, and his college career is quite unfortunate. You won't believe this, but Metcalf was actually the second best receiver on the team during his time at college. It wasn't really due to a lack of skill or poor performances. Metcalf was talented, but he had some terrible injuries that stopped him from realizing all of his potential during college. The problem started immediately in his freshman year when he broke his foot. While he did make a comeback, a season-ending neck injury derailed his sophomore year. Metcalf has gone past those injuries, thankfully, and is now proving his worth where it truly counts. Number 4. His after-game ritual involves some gaming. We have seen DK's pre-game ritual, so it makes sense to talk about what he does after a game as well. But keep your expectations in check about that. There's no superstition involved here. Much like the rest of us, DK Metcalf likes to take it easy after a long, hard game. He unwinds by gaming. While that may be added stress for some other people, Metcalf uses it to relax. The game he likes to play after a game is Fortnite. He's a major fan of the game and makes sure to have a go at it each time he has a game, good or bad.
I mean, I play Fortnite just to get away from football because, you know, if you play football, think about football all the time, all you're going to be is a football player. So, you know, I try to bring myself back down to earth by playing Fortnite all the time and just, you know, becoming a big kid again.
Who knows? One day you might be playing on the same team as DK Metcalf. Make sure you look out. Number 3. He is a huge Kobe fan. There aren't many people who wouldn't call themselves a Kobe Bryant fan. The Black Mamba was larger than life, an athlete who defied boundaries and borders. DK Metcalf was one of his many fans, and it's natural to think that he would have been gutted at the tragedy that occurred earlier this year. In fact, when asked about who he would like to have dinner with the most, DK named Kobe Bryant. And he didn't want to just have dinner. DK wanted to listen to all of Kobe's stories. That's something that every person in the world would have wanted. Maybe not Shaquille O'Neal, but everyone else. For DK, Kobe was something more. He considered the basketball star one of the greatest athletes of all time. Number 2. He had a shirtless meeting with the Seahawks. DK Metcalf's story just keeps getting more interesting the more you look into it. You will want to watch what's coming up next with this young wide receiver. The man was making waves even before he made his record-breaking debut in the NFL. His shredded physique has been more than just a meme. In fact, he even attended his initial meeting with Seattle Seahawks' head coach, Pete Carroll, shirtless. DK went shirtless to the meeting based on a dare, but if there was one way to make an impression on your head coach, that was it. While no one can say what Metcalf expected from his little stunt, the result was actually quite amusing. The head coach took his shirt off as well, joining in the laughs and making the meeting more memorable. It's probably right up there with some of the most memorable meetings in NFL history, at least in Seahawks history. Number 1. His success was doubted at the start. Metcalf ended his college career prematurely and made himself available for the NFL draft in 2019. He had the hype surrounding him, and several people were calling him the next big thing at the age of 22. But like every person with a major following, he had several football experts who were doubting him. According to them, Metcalf was all hype and he wouldn't be able to stand up to the weight of the expectations that surrounded his entry into the NFL. One reporter even went as far as to suggest that Metcalf was all steak, no sizzle, and believed that Metcalf's hype and ability would unravel in his very first game. A major reason for this was the interruptions caused by injuries. But Metcalf's father kept supporting him and believed his son could learn from the exposure. That's what he did, and he ended up proving his doubters wrong by having an almost perfect season for the rookie. You don't have many who end up making playoff records in their very first season. That was all we have on things that you probably didn't know about DK Metcalf, the most promising young athlete in the NFL. Thank you for watching, and do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed learning more about DK Metcalf. Also, hit that subscribe button to make sure you get to watch our next video. See you next time.